to use that term.
Oh, the Life Finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what?
I'm excited.
Get out of no!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
That was a death metal though.
The Samurai.
Metal into the double, triple kill.
Though I would bet dollars to donuts we are not going to see a Samurai tonight.
Well, welcome to the stream, everybody. We're going to be getting into the game right away here. We're just waiting on the last member of sOaK LaNe to get into lobby. So, might as well do the overview while we're here and at it. Oh, by the way, I'm joined by a co-caster for the second cast tonight. Monkus, welcome back.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
We both just came off of two 3-game series, and we're excited to get into this next one. I'm going to open up my window here. I had to close it because at 8 p.m., a bunch of construction workers came outside and were working on a bunch of shit for 2 hours. So,
That's never fun.
it is hot in here. So I'm going to deal with that. And while I do that, might as well pop us over to the stuff. Here we are. So, Arrogant Nephalem had the coin toss, but they lost it. So sOaK LaNe took first pick. Arrogant Nephalem is banning out Alterac Pass, Cursed Hollow. sOaK LaNe is taking out Infernal Shrines and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And so we'll be going right on back to Volskaya, which is a map that you just came out of.
Indeed it is. Volskaya with that ever so dreaded point C with the treadmills of doom and destiny. It's a great map for doing team fights on each of the control points. You have little tight corridors that people get funneled into, and a nice big fighting zone for both teams to throw down on.
Exactly. And shout out to Arrow, who, again, you just got done casting with the 17 visitors popping over from that channel. Much appreciated, my friend. We're going to be getting into the pretty much last game of the night, and we're expecting a good one.
Oh, yeah, and some of the mainstays in NGS I see are banned out. The Tomb and the Shrines are gone. So whatever, after Volskaya, we're going to see some lesser picked maps.
That does appear to be the case. And Volskaya is probably one of the more standard ones after those kind of two majorly popular maps are removed from the table. Tomb of the Spider Queen and Infernal Shrines are the top two most picked in NGS, I think, in almost every division. I'm not sure if that's entirely true for every division, but it's probably pretty damn true.
It's certainly true for Division B. More than any other map, I see Shrines, and Tomb is not far behind.
No, not at all. I almost feel like I've seen more Tomb matches. However, Volskaya is one of the kind of middling ones that kind of bounces around between that and a lot of the others. The rest being pretty even. So, what do you think we're going to see here from either team in Volskaya? Why don't you tell us about Arrogant Nephalem, and then I'll think about what sOaK LaNe might be.
Well, Arrogant Nephalem, they really like to draft strong team fight. It works well in those 4-man rotation situations. So you're probably going to see, if it's not banned out, a KTZ or a Maev pickup, because they both do very strong on these forced confrontation points. You're probably going to see Sylvanas. He's extremely strong on Volskaya because with the changes done to the Protector and to how the structures target the Protector, as opposed to before where they would shoot like minion waves first and then the Protector, now they always focus on the Protector first, and Sylvanas just shuts those down, lets you get as much push as you want to from your Protector.
Absolutely. I do dislike this map more than I did before with the changes to the Protector, because I feel like with the space between objectives and the fact that its scaling just doesn't seem to be as hard-hitting as it once was, these games can get really drawn out.
I like the change, because before it was like, okay, A, okay, who cares? Whoever won A, it would generally go on to win B. You go to win B, you go on to win C, and then just whoever won C, almost 90% of the time, they won the game. Like if one team was able to suddenly pull a crazy upset on that one point, then suddenly they push down the fort, the keep, and they're at the core.
Fair enough. A bit more opportunity, I guess, to maybe do a bit of side, kind of pushing down opposite lanes and things like that can definitely happen. Although the lanes are so long in this map, it's always a bit of a risk to overextend unless you have complete map control. sOaK eVeRy lane does like to play things like Gazlo on this map. I mean, I think they like to play Gazlo, generally speaking, especially if BMed is on the roster for the night. So I do think that either we're going to see a ban for that, as I know Eric and Nephalem also likes to play a bit of Gazlo, and or we'll see them pick that up tonight. How do you think they'll do with, say, aggressive compositions like Maiev into kind of good counter dive that things like Gravel Bomb tend to provide?
Well, I'll tell you what, if they pick up Maiev, they are not going to let Gazlo go through. Gazlo is a surprisingly adept counter to Maiev, being able to place a bomb right where she wants to drop a cage, and then Gravel Bomb people on top of that and just destroy Maiev in the process.
Absolutely. And we all know that BMed is quite adept on the hero, so I'm definitely going to see if that actually makes it through, and it'll be fun to see some Gazlo bans coming out into the game here.
Hey, sometimes you got to get people off their comfort picks.
Now, Sylvanas is also a big talking point in this map in particular. Given the Merc Queen gets a lot of value, she can solo take the camps. She also nullifies any value from from turrets, at least, anyways. Do you think we're going to see bans or picks from either team on this, or do you think one team might favor it more than others?
I think Sylvanas is the most popular hero in Division B. So if she's open, I imagine that one team's going to try to take her.
Absolutely. Now we are getting the R's coming in from everybody as they are ready to go. We might as well sign up on that train as well and get ready to get into game number 1. Draft on Volskaya. Alrighty, here we are, folks. Game sound doesn't through. Oh, I know why. Sorry, guys, just give me 1 second here. I have figured out the culprit.
There's first ban is on Kael'thas. Kael'thas very strong on this map. The living bombs it's extremely hard to not spread the bomb to other people. And there's the target ban on BMed, the Samuro ban.
Pretty much a consistent play in this map. And I mean, Samuro is surprisingly good on this map. I mean, he can really he can get you. So not a bad takeaway if you don't want to kind of deal with that. Hey, I can take your bot for it if your guys are stuck taking that or fighting over a healing camp kind of thing. So nice to see that removed. And like you said, you kind of called out before the Maiev, but we also saw the Gazlo ban. So Maiev or not, Arrogant Nephalem is not dealing with BMed's Gazlo tonight.
Malthael Raynor picked up. Malthael is a favorite of Kime's, and Gildan plays a decent Raynor. Jimmy can get a lot of the work done. He can shred the Protector once it gets up, and he can give excellent push behind the Protector. for sOaK every lane with Johanna, those blinds can help stop the Rainer's push in. And Gul'dan has excellent push potential himself and is able to get a lot of point control, constantly throwing out his Qs.
Yeah, as Kael'thas was kind of removed from the pool, you start looking at what other options you have. And Gul'dan, a consistent option, a little bit more late game, but as we discussed, this map tends to go late game. So also Tornado is pretty well known to play the hero. Not a surprise there that it would be the priority, especially after the Kael'thas match.
Vikings. Just a complete B-mid lockdown.
They're just like, nothing funky is happening in this draft tonight. More of what their concern is than anything else, it seems.
And I imagine we might see a Jaina ban here. They've already banned out the Kael'thas. Gul'dan's been picked up. And trade either Sylvanas or Jaina ban. But Garrosh ban, alright. Interesting, because I think Johanna is the tank like most suited to deal with Garrosh. She doesn't get thrown. She is a pretty good wall to prevent Garrosh from walking up on your team. So I'm curious to see what the last two picks are, because I'm thinking that they didn't want Gary to walk up and chuck whoever they are.
Yeah, I mean, with Unstoppable, he still could potentially get onto something like Gul'dan or Tyrande, both targets not exactly happy about being thrown behind the enemy team.
Oh, now here's a combo that can be absolutely devastating. Anna Malthael. I don't know if you've seen this, but when Malthael gets that nano boost, he just outputs damage and becomes essentially unkillable as he goes through the backline. You need to, but with Johanna Tyrande, those chain stuns are exactly what they need in order to shut that combo down.
So BMed's going to go in for the Thrall, and you know, I have to say, despite getting all of those picks against him, Thrall is a hell of a hero to pick up at this point in the draft.
Yeah, Thrall can definitely walk up to Arrogant Nephalem's composition and help set up on this for his Tychus pick. And Tychus, it doesn't matter if Diablo's at full souls or not, Tychus can eat through all that and get him down pretty quick.
Yeah, I really like the Tychus pickup. I think it's going to put a ton of pressure onto Diablo. And, you know, when you pick Diablo here, a lot of what you're looking for is someone that can pressure the backline on the objective. And unfortunately, him going in is going to be a risky business because he's going to be walking into Thrall's roots, Johannes pulls, Tyrande stuns, and all that Tychus damage. It could be a frightening combo.
Yeah, Tychus slots well into a lot of teams because there are a lot of characters that can finish people off pretty quickly, and Tychus sets them all up pretty well.
Absolutely. So getting into game number one, let's see the fans in chat give us an idea of who you think is going to be taking game number one. Based off a draft, who do you like, Munkus?
Based on the draft, I kind of like sOaK every lane's pickups here because they have the tools necessary to stop a lot of what Arrogant Nephalem wants to do with the Johanna and the Tyrande. And the Tychus can really wear down anyone that they want to focus on. But that's not to say that Arrogant Nephalem can't pull this one out. They have all the tools necessary. They just need to execute their combo correctly.
I do think that Jaina and Rainer are particularly good into Johanna, but let's get into introductions of the team. We have on the blue side, Arrogant Nephalem, Null Pointer on the Ana, Duck Hillidan playing the Rainer, Sigatai on the Diablo, Trey playing Jaina, and Kime on his signature Malthael.
And for sOaK every lane, we have Philip K on Johanna, Tornado on Gul'dan, BMed on Thrall, Diamond 13 on Tychus, and Strogus on Tyrande. Strogus? I don't know exactly how to pronounce that.
I think it's Strogs.
Strogs, there you go, Strogs.
Anyways, so opening handshake doesn't seem to be too much of more than just a couple sprays being thrown out from each side, but definitely what I like to see. Kime looking to try to get a head start on that bottom sOaK in the bot lane, not really committing to any of this trade in the front. A little bit of damage going on to sOaK, but nothing too substantial there. Waves are going to be cleared up. People are going to rotate. Nice little stun onto Johanna. But nothing's really going to happen there, and no one died. And here we are into the rotations.
Yeah, both teams have excellent wave clear, excellent rotation potential, so they're just going to clear these waves out pretty quickly and go on to whatever they want to do.
So, do you think with a Pale Horse, they're looking to rotate that Malthael around a bit for let it off sOaK while they 4-man rotate pretty much onto all objectives? sOaK getting pressured down really hard to see, and that's the problem. He cannot stand in that position for long periods of time. Tychus is just going to get enormous value in situations like that.
And it's especially hard when you're not at full souls. The hardest thing I think about Diablo is that you have to play them in 2 modes, 0 souls and full souls. And when you're at 0 souls, you have to play super conservative.
Absolutely. You can maybe sometimes look for some gank opportunities, but if you don't really have a dive hero, you know, that's good to be immediate follow-up, something like a Genji or something else that can be nice and quick, like a Greymane, you really don't want to be playing too aggressive with Diablo. And as soon as you get Tychus on the other side, it becomes a whole lot scarier.
And speaking of Tychus, Raynor getting very low from that Tychus minigun.
I do think the corruption had a good portion of that too as well. Raynor to Tychus is always an interesting matchup. 1-for-1, I would say Raynor generally has the upper hand because he can kind of stay at range and poke him out very well. But if Tychus does get in range of him, like you said, hey, he does a lot of damage. sOaK going to be dropped again. That slow coming in, doing a lot of damage. He gets a flip, though, and I think Johanna is a toast. E-boy, there she goes. Dead and deader. That's a good flip, and that's good, positional awareness there by Diablo.
Yeah, getting the pick off on Johanna, who can just instantly pop her unstoppable. That's an excellent job by sOaK being able to position her and get the stun off the time.
Still, 4v3 here. You'd say this should go the other way, but that healing item needs to be picked up. They do manage to walk away with it, so I would say Arrogant Nephalem getting off to a pretty decent start here, despite losing Diablo nice and early.
The 1-for-1 total trade right now, each having a kill. They had to focus on that camp, so Tychus was able to get a lot of damage in for free, essentially.
But initial channel is going to go to sOaK every lane. No one really super close to 7, so I would like to see Arrogant Nephalem at least try to get a little bit of pressure here. As soon as they notice that it's only Johanna, I'd really like to see them step up. It comes in, the flip comes in. Johanna is going to trait herself out, but there's still a lot to walk through, and they do get the conversion. 52% though, basically for free. That's a good play for sOaK every lane.
Yes, Arrogant Nephalem should have either picked up their own camp or recognized what was happening and gone in a little bit harder. Right now, sOaK every lane is going to hit their level 7s first, and they're going to have this advantage for this first major fight over the objective.
If the rotation comes in, but both Gul'dan and Thrall still lagging a bit behind, I'd say. And 7s might actually be picked up off this wave before the initiation comes in. There it is.
Here they come.
And but they're just going to walk up. We do get a bit of a dive in by sOaK. He's going to have to drop that healing emitter, and I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep him alive. But so far, so good. He still is up, but that pressure from BMed doing lots onto the Diablo. But they are going to be able to tap and maybe come back in here. And DMN himself is also down pretty low.
Well, Diablo took Devil's Due, so he hits that well, and he is healing essentially double his health pool.
Yeah, you'd think against, like, mages, you generally want that spell shield, but Gul'dan is a unique mage in the fact that he has such a fast Q that you may not get the value you're really looking for out of Soul Shield, so Devils did do a good adjustment. We do see a flip onto Johanna. Now, that worked once before, but I'm concerned that too many flips onto Johanna might put his team into bad, but nice dive onto BMed. They're going to trade out Jaina for the kill, but sOaK taking tons of damage from Tychus, and that turret got a ton of value, but Tornado almost dead to kill it and getting lots of good backline damage. And the flip coming in onto Tychus might actually get him killed, and that is exactly what we're looking for from Arrogant Nephalem. There are 2 turrets here, but they're going to be able to walk in here, and I think they should be able to take this objective away.
That was problematic. I believe that Dekilton was dead there inside of that Tyrande stun, but Tychus pushed her out with the grenade, and this Johanna's going down.
Malthael getting that die alone value onto her to finish the kill. And, Arrogant Nephalem coming out swinging in game number 1 against what many would have considered a favored matchup for sOaK LaNe.
You can never count Arrogant Nephalem out. They have very good team comps, and they have very good execution. They just need to pull it all together.
So that's going to be first objective, going to the side of Arrogant Nephalem. Now, again, first objectives don't do an absolute ton, but every little bit does help, so we'll see what kind of value they can get out of it. Tychus, though, getting an absolute monstrous amount of damage onto that Protector, and I think we're going to get a quick answer to the question posed and how much value they're going to get out of this.
Yeah, I would have maybe liked to see all of them dedicate all their resources to this Protector to try to get that top well down, and in doing so, put Malthael inside the thing and let him drive it so that Jaina can get some more siege damage out.
That is a good point, but I do like the fact that because the early Protector doesn't do a ton, getting that double soak value from Malthael is pretty good. They did have to draw Johanna down there, and they got probably a little bit more value than you think, but Dekiladin now in a really bad spot. I think he's going to get hit by that grenade, but he's still alive.
Huge!
Here comes the 4-man Ring of Frost into APOC. They get the kill, but Trent is out of position. He's going to die, and here comes the Tychus looking for all of it, but Last Rites is going to finish him off, and I think Malthael can actually 1v3 this, but if he takes tower shots, he might not.
Out comes the Nano, and Malthael walks away.
Strokes was at 50 health. Somehow walks his way out behind it, but still a decent trade, I would say. That was a 2-for-1 for Arrogant Nephalem, so
yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, but the loss, the Diablo souls there, that's the big issue.
I will say, while that hurts, they do at least have time to build those stacks back up before the end game. So losing them early does suck, but it's not the end of the world, especially if they get any more pickoffs as they've been able to manage so far.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication occurred, and Malthael got the nano boost, which probably would have allowed him to finish off the enemy team solo, but he completely disengaged as he was hit with the nano boost.
Yeah. If they called that a little bit better, that 1v3 I was calling there was probably going to happen.
Absolutely. And Malthael doesn't quite have all the talent tools necessary in order to give him that pure dive in with the nano boost. He took on a Pale Horse, which does allow for great double soaking, but it means that you're missing out on that extra range on your W.
Extra range, or even Fear the Reaper, which is good for avoiding ganks and as well as actually closing out kills and movement speed too as well. I think, the good thing about Malthael is he's got pretty decent talent diversity in a lot of places.
Yes, I think that the nano boost build takes the increased W range in order to also maximize off of the level 7 W applies trait to effectively dive in super deep and have trait to fight everybody.
3-man Lunar Flare. That's going to help with the stacks there, popping them from 5 to 8. Power goes down, but sOaK LaNe has done a good job protecting this well so far. And if they can keep it up, that'll help them in this next fight.
Oh, wow. Is able to heal off thanks to Frostwolf's Grace.
Yeah, Last Rites was even used there, trying to get that second thing. But that is the thing about Thrall-Malthael matchup, traditionally speaking. Especially as Thrall begins to scale with Ancestral Wrath, with a lot of the other things that he kind of brings to the table. That's not always a guaranteed kill or necessarily a good fight for Malthael.
Yeah, Thrall is one of the best scaling heroes in the game. He doesn't start off that strong, but once he gets things like Ancestral Wrath and Frostwolf's Grace, he suddenly goes from being a decent bruiser to being extremely tanky.
So here we're going to get the initial onto Kime. Kime's super low. I don't know if he's going to get out of this, and that's going to be a fantastic engagement from sOaK LaNe. 3 kills for nothing.
4 kills.
And with that, I don't think there's enough time to respawn before the objective is going to be taken here. And so sOaK LaNe flipping the scales here in the second objective of the map.
Yeah, they managed to get that off. I think that Arrogant Nephalem was just heavily out of position there when that engage came in. Horrify wasn't needed to be used there, neither was Commander Odin. They just caught people out of position, and Arrogant Nephalem paid dearly for it.
Nope, that's going to be objective. Probably top fort, and then we'll probably see the rotation down into the two other forts left on the map after that. I do sometimes see people take this into the top lane, but it is risky business.
Yeah, I think they just want to get a little bit of damage on that fort, maybe finish it off, and then go down and take out that bottom well with that ultra critical point C.
But they're going to actually get quite a bit of damage here into the mid fort, and trade out about half the protector health for this. But it does look like they may be able to take it down, so that's going to be it, though, for protector number 1. They did get 1.5 forts, which is decent value.
And somehow managed to get bottom well in the process. Gul'dan managing to snipe it.
Well, that's a pretty good, because that's really all you bring the protector down all the way to the bottom lane for in the first place. So, you know, if you can just get someone to sneak off and get that quick little kill onto it, yeah, I think that that's a fantastic macro play.
And sOaK every lane right now is exerting their dominance. They have 6 teams, they have map control, and so they're just getting this massive, massive item advantage that's going to carry them through to point C.
Big plus a shield hitting 3. We can see the follow-up actual APOC in, or it's actually Ring of Frost into APOC's. We do see a trade onto Diablo for Thrall. And I'm not sure who's coming out on top of this, but that pull in there from the Condemn from Philip K almost drops both Malthael and Achilledin. And with Odin, I think they're still going to be able to get this fort, so I think sOaK every lane coming out decidedly ahead in that fight.
I actually don't think so. I think Arrogant Nephalem won that engagement because, yeah, they lost the fort, but you know what sOaK every lane lost? All 4 of their items.
Hey, that's a good point. Hadn't quite noticed that was, they did drop every bit of what they had there. So not a bad trade. They do still have the well advantage. And even if Arrogant Nephalem do manage to win the next objective, they do have to go through a full fort. But, like you said, the fight on that objective is going to be significantly easier when you don't have as many items.
Yeah, the question on who won that fight will not be decided until the point C fight.
Basically.
Because if Arrogant Nephalem can win that point C fight, then, you know, maybe those items would have made a difference. But if sOaK every lane can get the point anyway, then hey, they cleared out that fort. They can march right to keep, possibly more.
So sOaK every lane just seeing Diablo standing out in the middle of the lane and going, hey, you know what? We can kill him. Walk in, Blessed Shield, into slows, into Condemn, into Tychus damage, and he is a dead demon.
And they are taking advantage of that, replenishing their item stock. Yeah, Tychus took the bigger they are, so any time that Diablo steps up, he's just going to eat almost 70% of his health and damage immediately.
And what makes Tychus particularly good into Diablo is even if you do get 100 soul stack, which we see Diablo almost there, but Kime 2v1ing here in the bottom lane. There's a healer on the B-Med, and he's just gonna 1v1 him. Is Last Right's gonna get it? I don't know. Kime almost getting the pick off on Tornado. But now we lose Malthael and we lose
the
Anna.
B-step disrespect.
There you go. This is a brawly match between these two teams, but sOaK every lane, again, decidedly in the lead here, going into objective number 3.
They've been able to capitalize off of out of position, essentially, in order to maximize their efficiency. There have been a couple of times where Arrogant Nephalem was just where they shouldn't be, and sOaK every lane just converges on them and is able to pull off quick picks. Right now, Arrogant Nephalem needs to stay far away. They'll need to concede this point, soak as much experience as they can, and wait until a fair fight.
I'm also going to point out, damage numbers wise, all 5 members of sOaK every lane are above 20,000 damage, and only 3 on the side of Arrogant Nephalem are. So lots of hero damage, nicely spread apart across the whole part. Tychus leading the pack as you know, he gets a lot of free damage onto the Diablo. It's always going to boost those numbers nice and high.
Yeah, I mean, Ez doesn't do any damage. She's all healing output, but Tyrande is a healer who is built for damage.
Yep, have your cake and eat it too. So objective, gonna go cleanly to the side of sOaK every lane. 20 advantage, pushing into the bot lane.
Yeah, down 20s right now, Arrogant Nephalem. They are going to try this defense. They maybe should be trying to sOaK to level 20 themselves.
Ime taking an absolute ton of damage from the corruption from Gul'dan and the damage from the Protector. Tychus with that big red button is going to do a massive amount of siege damage here.
We need to see Nanobush come out right now. This is the time for it. Early in the fight, not later.
We do have the APOC dive coming in from Segatai, trying to use those 100 souls to get something happen. We do see a 3-man Ring of Frost, but it is Jaina and Diablo that die here. And I think things are getting a little bit scary now for the side of Arrogant Nephalem as B Medaho lives through the last rites, still has not used that healing item. I wonder if he's forgotten that it's there. Philip K is going to die, but I think this is going to be the end of the game.
Yeah, I think so. It's up to Raynor and Anna. I just don't think they have what it takes to stop all 4 of these members of sOaK every lane.
Well, that's going to be it. GG. So sort of as we predicted at the beginning here, we did like the fact that sOaK every lane's draft looked pretty strong into what Arrogant Nephalem brought to the table. And, you know, after the first objective, or the second objective was lost, Arrogant Nephalem just not able to reestablish them strongly back into the game.
Yeah, Arrogant Nephalem had a very strong early game, but then just little mental errors kept stacking up. I think that they had really good use of the Ring of Frost into APOC, but they should have had Nano Boost on top of that. I think Nano Boost came out way too late on each of those fights, and it would have made the difference between a 4-man kill and losing the fight itself.
Yeah, definitely an astute approach to the analysis there from my famously co-caster here, Monkus. So there are the damage numbers for you. 40,000 across the board. Hey, go for it. And it's just a decent amount of damage, well spread across. Make sure that you get all the kills that you need there. I am losing track of my thoughts here tonight. Guess 2 casts are really kind of catching up to me here. Anyways, there are the talents I'm going to let everybody see for the moment, and then we will go to a short break while we wait for, or while we get the next match set up for you. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are for game number 2 of this set between Arrogant Nephalem and sOaK eVeRy LaNe. And I am joined again here by my illustrious co-caster, Monkus.
Hey, everybody. After game number 1, we're going to Battlefield of Eternity. And since Arrogant Nephalem, they elected to take the map pick, like you said, Zeltroy, they must have some kind of strategy going into here.
At least you want to hope so. and it's not just a blind pick for any specific reason. We saw a good early game from them, and good early games can be pretty effective on this map in particular. So hopefully we might be able to see a bit of a turnaround here and get another game 3 set for the night.
Here's hoping. This map is completely different from Volskaya, where the hero priority is completely flipped. You want to determine which heroes you have to race down the Immortal or to defend your Immortal best you can. And macro, a lot less important on this map.
Absolutely. So, I do think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the ban phase. If we're going to see the BMed being target banned again, as he was in game 1. Samuro, an interesting pick on this map. I will be curious to see if they do go down that route.
Well, they don't have to ban the Lost and Life Kings, that's for sure.
That's for sure. It was an odd ban, and like I said, I think it ended up working in BMed's favor as he was quite effective on that Thrall pick.
Yes, able to secure a lot of kills. In fact, I think that he was able to bait Kime into a few fights where he thought he would get the kill with the last rites, but just barely did not.
And as we saw in game number 1, we're going to continue along this line and see both Samuro and Maiev banned out. I'm in a better spot at the moment, so let's maybe bring up some statistics.
Oh, not fully banning out BMed's hero pool. We have the Tyrande ban. She got a lot of work done getting those stun chains off.
So, not afraid of the Gazlo here. We're going to see the Tyrande banned instead. And I do think that that is a good ban, especially on this map, given the amount of effect it tends to have on the Immortal. I also wanted to bring up the Samuro stats because I'm just not entirely certain what they are right now. And they're not great. 0, 0, and 0 all across the board.
No wins, no ties, no losses.
So 0% win rate, 0% popularity, and 0% KDA. I feel like that statistic is not correct.
It might just be that he's been banned out.
Well, I remember Fox playing it, so it should at least have some popularity and some win and loss rate, but apparently the statistics do not agree with me. Makes me wonder how much I can actually trust to that, and oh my gosh, I need to get rid of that.
And actually, we were wrong. This map is sOaK eVeRy LaNe's pick. It was Arrogant Nephalem's first pick, so they did elect to go first.
Yeah, they juked us out. They juked us out in the damn lobby phase because they initially put first pick as team number 2 when I made the adjustment, and then they switched it to 1. So, so they go right for that Gazlo first pick, basically in the first rotation. BMed saying, "I am going to play Gazlo today. No one will stop me."
And that's probably a good pickup there, since I do imagine that he wouldn't make it to the second ban phase. Or make it through the second ban phase.
Yeah, probably not. Trabe is going to pick up the Sylvanas, which is quite good on this map. Pretty much good on every map, if we want to actually be candid here.
Well, especially since Mercenary Queen is bugged out, and she does bonus damage to the Immortal here with her Mercenary Queen. And it's such a valuable talent that you might as well take it anyway.
I'm going to follow that up with a Johanna and Anduin, both very strong picks here. Good into the Gazlo and the Rainer. Chromie, I've seen this before. Chromie is actually quite good I mean, traditionally she was good on this map, even before the rework, and now she's even better.
Yeah, she does a lot of single target damage, and that's exactly what you want in the Immortal race. It'll also be interesting to see if Raynor goes Exterminator Opal 1, or if he's going to stick with the more traditional Ace in the Hole.
So there we are. Malthael going to come back out again. It is basically a Kime special. So not a huge surprise, and decent on this map. And though you don't get the macro advantages from Malthael, which is the one kind of thing you feel like you lose out a bit with the hero. But he is still very good in team fights and decent at burning down the structure of the Immortal. And he's not bad at clearing up the camps, too, at the same time.
Right, and Kel'Thuzad picked up by Kil'jaeden. Kel'Thuzad extremely strong on any 2-lane map where he can quickly pick up those stacks and get to 30. Kel'Thuzad is a hero that is basically not online pre-10 and pre-30 stacks.
Yeah, at the 30 stacks being the big thing, you really need to hit that, and you want to hit it nice and early because you're essentially missing out half your potential damage.
And ETC, the last pickup for sOaK every lane. ETC, pretty much the most popular tank, I feel, right now in Division B.
Well, if you want a poke and sOaK composition, I think sOaK every lane is giving exactly that to us. With this, Gazlo's good at both things. He can actually do well on burning down Immortals, but he's also very good at defending. And, same thing with Chromie, for that matter. And they can just kind of shell while ETC keeps everyone away. But on the other side, we do have a lot of good Immortal pressure from Sylvanas. If they win the Immortals, they can push down lanes really hard with Sylvanas. And as you said, Kel'Thuzad, if he gets those stacks nice and early, the burst damage coming out onto the relatively squishy composition we see from sOaK every lane could be problematic. But without further ado, let's go into the introductions we have on the blue side. Looking for the Equalizer, Arrogant Nephalem, Trave on the Sylvanas, the Kil'jaeden playing the Kel'Thuzad, Segatai on the Johanna, Nullpointer playing Anduin, and Kime on his signature Malthael.
And for sOaK every lane, we have Philip K on ETC, Tornado on Anna, Strogs on Chromie, Demon 13 on Raynor, and B-Med on the Gazlo.
I wonder if that's meant to be pronounced demon.
It could be. I'm just reading.
No. I'm just curious. That wasn't like a comment on what you said. I was just saying, like, I was openly musing to myself on what
this
that
is my
could
old
mean.
Man yell at clouds moment. If he wanted to go by Demon, he should have called himself Demon.
Yeah. And so wave is going to be cleared out by Arrogant Nephalem. They're going to push up here, get a little bit of damage onto that gate.
Gazlo dancing with the Malthael, quite literally up in top lane.
Always an interesting matchup between these two, but Gazlo does surprisingly well into Malthael. Post 4 though is still a problem, like it is for pretty much every offlaner.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see, because Malthael doesn't really come online in the offlane until he gets Die Alone.
Nice stack so coming in from Kel'Thuzad. He's already managed to hit 6, and that's good. That's what we want to see. We need to see that 30 stacks. If he can get 10 within the first 2 minutes, I mean, that's a third of it done very quickly.
And Dex, already getting 8. That's an excellent job. And looking at some of these other talent choices, Sylvanas is on Q build, which I do think that's the right choice. It gives him a much better early game, helps make up for the fact that Kel'Thuzad needs to get those stacks. Very gutsy camp play. I don't know if they can really do that, especially like we said, the early Kel'Thuzad. But they might get this off.
Johanna doing a really good job in making sure that there's no positional advantage there for the side of sOaK every lane. They couldn't get through the Johanna, and that created the space they needed to be able to pick up that camp.
Yeah, I think they were just also afraid of walking in there and fighting on top of Kel'Thuzad and just feeding him more stacks. He's Kel'Thuzad's already at 9 right now.
Yeah, 9 for the moment, which is a good start. But it's really into this phase that it can be where the stacks really start to climb up. We're going to see the front wall, though. This is really good pressure from Trabe. We saw this a bit from you guys last night, where you're really amplifying that Mercenary Queen and getting great structure damage out of it.
Right, and the little goat minions have gotten buffs in the last patch, and so along with Mercenary Queen, they are just chunking, getting the wall and the tower down before the Immortals is gigantic, especially since that's lane that the goat herd is going to be pushing down.
And so here comes the defense. We do get a stack onto ETC. ETC almost going to be hit by that follow-up stun from the Immortal. Man, if he gets hit there, he was a dead cow. Beef jerky.
Yes, he was. But in the meanwhile, Gazlo pushing in top, getting that decent trade in damage there. And Sylvanas is now just working on the Immortal solo, while the rest of Arrogant Nephalem is working to defend the Immortal.
Yep, and as good as Sylvanas Burn is, it's not as good as Chromie Rainer Poke. Especially with Executioner. Exterminator.
That Exterminator basically means that he's a one-man army. Nobody outraces Exterminator Raider. Exterminator Raider. Wow. Say that's 5 times fast.
Yeah, Exterminator Raider. Exterminator Rainer. Exterminator Rainer. Exterminator Rainer. I like it. It's fun. Anyways, first objective going to sOaK every lane, really leveraging that advantage that Gazlo was able to create in the top lane, forcing that response from Malthael, making it a 3-man defense, and then, like you said, Exterminator Rainer doing exactly what he needed to do and burning down. This is going to be a less than half shield Immortal. Early game, it should get poked down pretty easily here.
I actually don't know if it'll get more accomplished than Arrogant Nephalem's Mercenary Wave did, and it doesn't look like it will.
Yep. Leap of Faith being used on Segatai. So they are going to get the front wall, but you know, the downside to this siege from sOaK every lane is that they're continuing to feed Kel'Thuzad those stacks, and he's already at 20.
Yeah, that is extremely significant. And also on the side of sOaK every lane, Chromie, no slouch. She's at 30 out of the 40 on her quest, and after once she gets all 40, her damage has a huge spike too.
And now it seems like it's Arrogant Nephalem's turn to push up here and see if they can get their own structure damage done. Nice pull in on ETC is going to get them actually to 20. He was previously at 19.
And right now, yeah, Arrogant Nephalem has the advantage right now in the bottom lane because they still have their well to fall back to.
It's a small advantage. We did see Dekilidin potentially miss some stacks there, as he had already tossed out his chains before the CC came in onto ETC, but he's going to start building them up again. This fight, though, is not looking good for them, and Dekilidin getting hit by the power slide is not what you want, and we have the time loop on Trabe, which he uses the unstoppable from the E to get himself out of. A very good micro play there from Trabe.
Yeah, yes, you gotta give big props to Trabe on the excellent usage of the Banshee's whale in order to escape from what would have almost been certain death.
Absolutely. But with that kill on Dekilidin, they are going to be able to grab this camp and push it forward, but, you know, not quite as frightening without the 60% damage buff. And, of course, Sylvanas, while is also good at getting camps, is very good at defending them, but RNG tends to favor sOaK every lane here, and they get the initial rotation onto the objective, and that's going to be halftime before there can be any response mounted by Arrogant Nephalem.
Yes, indeed. And right now, level 10s, they'll get it, sOaK every lane will get it ever so slightly before Arrogant Nephalem will. They're already starting on this camp, so Arrogant Nephalem was positioned for the defense, but they're going to lose a lot of structures right here if they don't respond to that camp and top lane.
And this is kind of, Gazlo just walks in, drops a turret, and just walks away. just a drive-by turret drop.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respond to it, or else it'll just get the whole work done. And level 10's coming out for sOaK Every Lane, Gravo Bomb, Rainer's Raiders, Nano Boost, and Mosh Pit.
So Malthael has to deal with this camp in the top lane, but he's also going to need to make this rotation in, and I just think it's going to be too little too late. Arrogant Nephalem sees the writing on the wall. They don't have 10s, can't take the fight, and that's going to be a almost full shield immortal from sOaK Every Lane.
Oh no, but
ETC might actually be in big trouble here. Last Rites does go down. Does it secure the kill? No, the heal comes in from Ana just in time to keep him alive, and it will be Malthael that goes down, as well as Kel'Thuzad. But Light Bomb into Falling Sword is going to pick off the Chromie. Are they going to be able to get any more kills here? The Gazo Gravel Bomb comes in a little bit late at the end of the fight, but doesn't really land on anyone. And that's going to be a 3-for-1 trade. Things looking very good for sOaK Every Lane into this next phase.
well, if there weren't those early pickoffs by sOaK Every Lane, if they hadn't got that snipe on the Kilden, I think that fight goes around for Arrogant Nephalem, because that was an amazing usage of Falling Sword and Light Bomb. They nearly had the entire team dead to rights there.
Yeah, and we do have to remember that Kel'Thuzad is not fully stacked yet, so if he can do so on this defense, things will start looking a bit better for them. They are going to pull Malthael in after he already helped with that camp pushing into the bot lane. That might get a fort. We have a kill, maybe coming onto EZC, but the follow-up damage just not quite in range to be able to secure the kill. But Segatai is in big trouble now. I don't think he can get out, and that's going to be a kill onto Johanna.
But look at that, all the work that was done bottom lane. If the Arrogant Nephalem trading a fort for a fort while losing the Immortal, well, that's about as good as you can hope for.
Yeah,
Bush party going on.
Yeah, consolation prize for sOaK Every Lane is the fact that they did get a kill and front wall of a keep, which does allow that to be a potential win condition into the future. And this is a crazy shot call coming out here, finding the Kil'jaeden, who thought he was in a safe position, all the way into the point where he got rotated on, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to get out of this. Ana looking to cut them off with body blocks, but that didn't quite work out. Anduin an interesting spot, 2-man mosh pit, and this might actually be kills.
Whoa!
But
the knock back into the stun!
But things are going from bad to worse here for the side of sOaK Every Lane. What looked like a really good combo and kill is going to turn into a potential 3-man kill here. I would say a bit of an over-chase. They might be able to squeeze her away here with the Ana heals. I don't think they're going to be able to get an extra 2 kills here, but they're trying, although it looks like DMN might be in trouble. But no, there's no last rites available, and Trabe might be overextending now. This is just an interesting interaction here happening here in the top lane. I don't really have anything else to say.
I will say this, ETC, you killed Chromie when you knocked the light bomb out of your range. You pushed this light bomb right on top of Chromie. Oh,
very interesting interaction there with the W. One of those self-trolling moments that you're just not aware of, but that's a great time trap. And Kil'jaeden back in trouble. He does dodge the gravel bomb. Segatai does manage to disengage, but that was a lot of damage put onto Kel'Thuzad in that instant.
Yeah, the fact that Kel'Thuzad was able to get out of that without losing their life is just huge.
But that does... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so the gravel bomb is on cooldown, but keep in mind, that's not a 90-second cooldown. It's more like a 30-second cooldown.
Yeah, it's still 60 seconds before it's up, so we do potentially have an advantage here with Wailing Arrow coming off cooldown. They do kill the Raider, but this is a very hard place to siege into. Chromie Gazlo is just absolutely the worst thing you ever have to walk into.
True, but again, you can't trust the timer with Gazlo because it takes advantage of the scrap resets. It's already down to 18 seconds.
Light bomb into the falling sword, gets onto the back line there. Segatai, half health, trying to put the pressure in, but it's actually going to be ETC dying to the last rites. Anduin did get traded out, but it looks like Ana is going to go down. Segatai is super low. He is going to die here, but so is BMed. Stroke's also in a terrible spot, but I think he's going to peel out, and DMN is just going to have to back up and get some healing, but the Bruiser camp is pushing into the top lane, and that is going to have to be dealt with, but I think they're going to try to see if they can get a lot of damage done here. Malthael doing the damage, Kel'Thuzad actually being the one to go clear out the camp.
Oh, now, and Raider's coming in. Looks like he probably got, he got a kill.
Yeah, I mean, Malthael was super low there. I wonder if you just let Sylvanas do the damage and the other two just kind of peel out, as she can actually peel away from that. And despite having a great team fight and a lot of kills in that transition, this is actually going to turn into halftime show for sOaK every lane, and that race is just insane with Chromie and Exterminator Rainer.
Yeah, I mean, it took literally seconds for them to match and then beat all the damage that Arrogant Nephalem had managed to push out.
The light bomb goes down, doesn't land on anyone, and neither does Falling Sword, so that was well dodged by sOaK every lane. But a two-man combo does not quite come out, and he does manage to get out of the way. The cleanse coming through from Ana there to keep everyone alive. That combo might have actually done a lot of work.
Oh, big
Mosh pit.
Big mosh pit, but out comes the gravel bombs. Doesn't quite get the stun off though, and that is a dead immortal for Arrogant Nephalem.
So Teamfight was still going okay for the side of Arrogant Nephalem, despite being now a talent tier down. And but yeah, the amount of damage pressure from onto the immortal from these two damage dealers and the Gazlowe, actually, for that matter, is doing so much work in this game.
Yeah, I think that they need to get Malthael to help soak them up to 16s right now. That fort is gone. Like, there's no saving it. And they can very easily, turn this game around once they get their own 16s. That's a pretty big damage spike for Malthael and for... Whoa. Big damage coming out on that ETC. Nearly goes all the way down.
Well, the good thing is that combo is up nice and quick, but the Immortal's still doing a lot. We do have Light Bomb coming out, but it was time trapped out, so it didn't quite land. And Johanna is almost dead, but he does get a good heal to keep himself alive. There goes the time loop onto Malthael, but he does get cleansed out of it. And it looks like this keep is going to go down, but I don't think they're going to get much more out of that.
No, I think, and really and truly, that's what's probably going to happen anyway. They still don't have 16s on Arrogant Nephalem, so they need to play this extremely cautiously and careful and just, get the 16 and get the engage. They should definitely try to take a fight right now while the talent tier is even.
Yeah, but the game's not over yet. Keep is down. Things are in a rough spot, but they still have one keep alive. And this is a 2-lane map, so it's not incredibly difficult to keep it up. And on top of that, it's only Khazra camps that are going to be pushing into the bot lane. So this Bruiser camp will do an okay job in pushing this out for at least a little bit. But they are going to have to deal with this double camp push coming out from sOaK every lane very shortly here. And in fact, we're going to see Arrogant Nephalem say, we need to win a fight. So we're going to come over here and catch them on their own rotations. Segatai going right in. He does get the condemn onto Rainer. They're trying to push through. There goes the light bomb. He's pushing out onto them. But there goes the time loop onto Segatai. And Gravo's going to land onto Malthael. He's just going to get deleted. That's going to be a 2-for-0 trade. The problem there, Arrogant Nephalem, is I think they went too far underneath the opposing team's fort. Into a choke. Did we lose Among Us? Hello? They may have, in fact, lost Among Us, so we're just going to kind of keep going through here. There goes to kill it in. That so much damage coming out there, and much like game number one, things are getting really rough here. No, it's not game number one. I apparently did not update things appropriately.
Opting to just let it ride out, wait till halftime, and do what they can. They see that that right now Gazlowe is down. Okay, now Kel'Thuzad has decided to come in a little bit late on that. Won't be here for this fight. Light Bomb comes out a little bit early. Falling Sword comes out. Out comes a pretty big... Oh. Will sOaK get out? Does not quite get out. And this is still a 4v5 that Arrogant Nephalem took. Kel'Thuzad was not able to get there in time, and that is a dead Malthael. Ooh, this is a very rough spot for Arrogant Nephalem to be in.
Things just going from bad to worse for the boys in blue. This is going to be another full shield immortal, and despite and unless they have some sort of miracle defense here, this is probably going to be GG.
Right, I think there's some kind of miscommunication that went on because Kel'Thuzad had the buyback and waited till about 20 seconds in, and the team had to kind of fight down 4v5 as a result.
Geez, the amount of siege damage coming out from the side of sOaK LaNe is a spectacle to behold. As they just straight up clear that before the Immortal gets anywhere near. This is do or die. They're going to have to go in. Light Bomb and the Falling Sword were not timed properly. Now sOaK is in the middle of the team. Leap of Faith coming out to maybe keep him alive. And we see a combo coming out onto DMN, but he does not die. And that is going to be a full shield immortal sitting right on the core. Kill number 1, kill number 2. To kill it in narrowly dodging the Grabo Bomb. But in the end, he does go down, and I think this is just going to be GG. sOaK LaNe taking another 2-0 domination and securing themselves even further ahead in the standings in that number 1 position.
Yes, Arrogant Nephalem had their comp really coming together, really meshing well early on, but unfortunately, at the end, they had a couple of hiccups. They went from landing perfect Light Bomb Falling Sword combos to missing it ever so slightly. They just weren't able to maintain that excellent synergy that they had early on.
Well, here we have the stats, and they are a doozy. We have 8 kills apiece on both Raynor and Chromie. 99,000 damage coming in from the Chromie, and a respectable 56,000 also coming from the Raynor. And that far outclassed anything from the side of Arrogant Nephalem. Trabe with a 330, decent KDA, 44,275 hero damage. And I think that's more or less the story of the match there in game number 2.
Yeah, that Chromie was able to essentially be a sniper for sOaK LaNe, just going bang, 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 you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. The fights that Arrogant Nephalem won, they were able to take Chromie out really quickly.
Though I don't want to understate the value that we've been able to receive from Gazlo in this matchup either. 135,000 siege damage, far outclassing Malthael, and 18,000 sOaK, so he really handled the macro on this map. And while it's not as prevalent as other maps, we can still definitely see that advantages can be had by having good control over the maps and the lanes in those situations.
Yes, it was a very well done job by both teams. I think it was excellently fought, but sOaK LaNe was just able to pull off their composition a little bit better and pulled out the victory on the battlefield of eternity.
Alrighty then, let's pop here onto the interview screen and see if we can catch somebody from sOaK LaNe. I'm going to pop into Lobby 1. Alrighty.
Sure, I'll do an interview.
If you want. You can send someone else in if you don't want to.
I don't think that would go over very well.
Or you can just ditch us and say, hey, I don't want to hang out with these scrubs. We're too hot for that.
Nah, I would never say that out loud. Alright,
Congratulations on the 2-0 victory. Continuing to cruise forward in Division B West in that number 1 spot.
yeah.
How you guys feeling tonight?
We're feeling pretty confident. A little bit of a comms issue in that second game. Discord went out for like 30 seconds and nobody noticed.
Oh man.
Yeah, you know that Anu just sort of walked in towards the enemy team by herself? We had no comms for her to tell us what they were doing.
Well, that's an unfortunate situation, but you seem to have handled it fine. Game number 1 was a bit of a back and forth, at least for the first phase. But as it got into the second one, it seemed to be going more your way. How's that strategy of banning out all of BMed's tricky heroes working for the teams so far?
Well, as evidenced by tonight, it didn't work out very well. So obviously they should not try to ban out BMed at all.
Yeah, he performed very well on the Thrall in game number 1, and then of course got his signature Gazlo in game number 2. So things it did set up well for you guys in both those games. But we did definitely see some fantastic plays with a lot of the stun chain blow up combos that we were seeing in game number 1 and 2. You guys, with that Tychus, especially in game number 1, really seemed to be on point in comms, despite your apparent issues. Game number 2.
Game 1 perfectly fine, but yeah, Tychus just calls out trait and we kill someone. That's pretty much how it goes.
Any questions, Monkas?
Oh, okay. The Chromie in game 2 did nearly 100,000 damage. Is that like a pocket Chromie that y'all have to just pull out like a sniper just to pick people off? Like, what's the deal with that Chromie?
I mean, we've been playing it a lot this season. People haven't really been banning it from us, so please continue not to ban it from us.
Well, when you have somebody like BMed on your team who just takes the spotlight, sometimes things slip through the cracks, and that Chromie is a pretty big thing to slip through the cracks.
I will say, having BMed allows us to hide a lot more of our unusual picks from bans. It's pretty nice.
It for sure does give that advantage in the draft. But even then, anyone looking at any draft like that where you see Samro, Gazlo, and Vikings being banned out, and then just kind of being handed a Thrall, definitely tends to work out in your favor.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Because we saw that was basically it. We saw that in game number 1 and 2, where basically you can manipulate to the draft into a situation where you can get really powerful picks without a whole lot of contest.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice perk. And then bringing out the Gazlo and Gravo bombing the entire team. That's also a nice perk.
Absolutely. Exterminator Raynor was a nice pickup there. DMN is really kind of doing well with the Raynor picks quite a lot this season. And I really liked the amount of pressure that it was able to apply onto that Immortal. Is that just kind of your guys' go-to nowadays with that?
Yeah, Raynor is pretty much a first pick, first ban on Battlefield of Eternity, and the Exterminator is just really strong.
I don't think there's anyone that can argue about that after those 2 games. Anyways, going forward, how are you guys feeling into the season? Do you think you can end off at the number 1 spot?
Yeah, I am definitely confident that we can. I'm not so sure we will. Shoot. I don't know, I feel like it came out wrong.
No, it's fine. Who do you guys have left to play?
See, this is a good question. We have... I need to actually look this up. haven't ran into. Oh, we haven't ran into Unemployed Gaming yet. Apparently, they're number one right now. That should be fun. I think we're facing them next week, or maybe it's in a week after that.
Well, there you go. You'll be able to defend the title there in the regular season against Rexpa and the boys. And
yeah,
how you guys feeling going into that matchup?
Oh, I'm pumped, and I know the rest of the team's pumped too. We're gonna stomp them. You heard it here.
There you go. The fire and ice coming out from sOaK Every Lane, calling out Unemployed Gaming. I think he said that they're all boosted scrubs and don't know what they're doing in the game, right? That's what he said?
Yeah, don't quote me on that, please.
That was totally Philip K. It was not me.
Yeah.
All opinions expressed on here are strictly those of NGS and not my own.
I'm just going to shout at my team for playing really well tonight and take my leave. Thank you so much for casting.
No problem.
Hope you have a good night.
It's a pleasure, as always.
Games.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, that brings us to the end of the cast. Thank you so much, Philip K., for coming in for the interview. Congratulations on the 2-0 domination. And thank you for everyone in chat that was making everything nice and fun tonight. If you haven't already, please hit the follow button. That is much appreciated. Mr. Munkus, where can everyone find you?
Twitch TV /MunkusBeaver.
Alrighty, well, I appreciate you coming in for another co-cast. We've been knocking them out of the park the last a little bit here, and hopefully we'll continue to do so well through the rest of the regular season and the playoffs. And alrighty, that's going to be it for us tonight. Again, thanks everyone for showing up, and you all have a wonderful night.